Welcome everyone. I am Connie Rose and I am going to share with you today how I do an Intervoice session. These are my complimentary sessions that I do for prospects so that they can get a feel of how awesome our technology is. I give that to them as my gift. This is the technology that saved my life. If you haven't heard my story, you might want to go onto my YouTube channel and it's there. So this is what I give away. This is the best gift I think I could give anybody. And so now we are on Intervoice 3.0. Lauren Swinson just made this amazing tool even better. So I'm going to update this. I had a different video, and now that it's 3.0, it's a little different. So like I said, I offer this as a complimentary lead magnet. And so I promote it. I give it away. I have flyers for that that I've made on Canva. I also have like landing pages that I created inside of boards. If you are on my team, you have access to my team boards. If you are not currently on my team, I do sell access to the boards because it's like, it is like a treasure trove of resources. It is like the franchise version of Solex. Ton of information there. So reach out to me if you're interested in having access to that. So basically, and that's the landing pages and all the things. So I send out information. People reach out to me through my Calendly link that is connected to my Zoom, and they schedule a session with me. The day before, I always confirm with them, and in that confirmation email, I'm asking for all of their profile information. So when they arrive to the meeting, I do all of this on Zoom. 95+% of my sessions are on Zoom because I want to see everybody in the world. So the way I have it set up, they have it, and you don't have to do it this way. You can just literally get on the phone and set it up, schedule it. You do need at least the free Zoom account. That'll give you 45 minutes. I have a paid Zoom account. It'll assign a Zoom link and send it to them. So the day before, I always confirm and make sure I have that profile information. And I tell them, this creates your unique energetic profile. And, you know, there's 8 billion people on the planet, and the odds that your frequency blueprint is like anybody else's is 1 in 4.3 trillion. So it's very specific, and this is the information I need. So I include that in the confirmation email. I will tell you when you confirm the day before, the chance of people not showing up greatly diminishes. That's a little hot tip for you. So by the time when they get onto the Zoom with me, their profile's already been sent. I ask them, and I remind them you're going to be getting a verification email. So they'll check that so that we know when we send the audio files to them that they're already verified. So we always start, I have it on Zoom. Now, when you click on share screen on your Zoom, you want to make sure you click on share audio. It's on the right hand side. So you want to not just click the screen that you want to share, but also that share audio button. So I always start with this page because I want people to see this is very simple. It's amazing technology, what it can do, and it's very simple. So we just start at the top, and I say, okay, we're going to start with clearing your aura. So this is something I recommend for everyone always. So we click on clear the aura, and I play that. It goes on for like, I think 20 or 30 seconds. And we do shield, and I talk about our aura is our field. It's our energy field. That includes because we're more than a physical body. We have a physical and a field. In the field, we have our emotional body, we have our mental body, and we have our spiritual body. And so this clears that because things get in our field, right? Then I do shield, and we run shield for, like I said, 20 to 30 seconds. And because we pick up stuff from other people, and these things are important because I'm going to be addressing that later on. Then I always do grounding. We'll do Lauren says you need at minimum 20-30 seconds. So I'll do grounding. Now, I will tell you there's 3 different versions of grounding. I don't know if you know this, but there's 3 different versions of each of these techniques. So I like the birds the best. So if I don't get the birds right away, I'll click on grounding again and try again. And maybe it's the next one. And if it's not, I'll click around a little bit until I get the birds. And then oh, there's the birds. And I tell people, historically, what happens is birds will only sing when they feel safe. And there's something that we're connected to everything. So when we hear birds singing, this is in our daily life. When we hear birds singing, guess what? It sends a message to our nervous system. They're safe and we're safe. So I love listening to the birds. I talk to them about the birds, and we just get grounded together. This is great, not only for them, but it's also great for you as a practitioner. So you want to make sure, like I have my profile up here, but you want to make sure their profile is up here. So I talked to them about, like, we have these plans, and if you take supplements, ours, and you show them, well, this is going on. Like, we could put your supplements in, and it'll tell you exactly what supplements you're taking every day. If you have pets, it'll work with your pets too. If you want to send abundance frequencies to your bank account, or if you want to send insects to your house to get the pests out. So I give them little examples as I'm going along while they're playing these. So I let them know this is how simple this is. Then I actually do Easy Scan. However, I never, ever, never, ever, never send the report from Easy Scan. I'll show you what I do. I always send the reports from Intervoice. That Easy Scan is great, and there's just way too much information, and it overwhelms people. And this is what I know: a confused mind takes no action. So I'll let them know we're going to do the Easy Scan. It's going to include the Inner Scan, which that's the main reason for our session. But it's also going to include the Vital Scan and Optimization and the Comprehensive Scan and Optimization. So let me just tell you what scan and optimize means. So everything has a frequency. We know this, right? And Einstein said the future of medicine is frequency. So literally, like, almost 100 years ago, I think it was actually in the 50s, they discovered what the ideal frequency is for all parts of our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. And they developed that. And to me, I call that the divine blueprint, because, in the Holy Book, it says that we're made in His image, but no one could ever tell me what that meant. So what I tell people is that, to me, is that perfection. And so our cells, on a cellular level, we know what that perfection is, and because of all kinds of things, stress, environment, our food, our water, our thoughts even change our body. And so we are not always in alignment with that divine design. And our software knows what that is. And so I say, what it does is it scans me. It scans my field and my physical. That's my blueprint over here. And that's the scanning part. And then the optimization part of it is it compares it to that divine design of perfection. And it says, okay, here's Connie. Here's the divine design. These are the frequencies that it needs to send out custom to me to bring me back into alignment with the divine design. And our software is pretty miraculous, pretty spectacular. However, God made our body as the miracle. Because when we're in alignment, that's when our body knows what to do and it heals itself. We don't heal. The software doesn't heal. Our body heals itself. So that's what we mean when we say scan and optimize. So I'm going to scan and optimize you with vitals. I'm going to show you what that is, and comprehensive. So that's going to be running too. So then at this point, before I even do the scan, I go over into, so we just click over here into vitals. And so these are the things that you're going to get scanned and then optimized for. Things like food sensitivities, blood, stuff that shows up in your blood work, your chakras, your gastrointestinal functions, your meridians, nutritional analysis, things like macronutrients, micronutrients, physical functionality. There's all different kinds of things here, like inflammation markers. And so I just give some examples here. And then, of course, toxicities, because we're, like I said, we're exposed to toxic things, chemicals, hair products, all kinds of stuff. And so this will scan and then optimize you. Then it also does the comprehensive. And I tell people this comprehensive is kind of like the hardware of the body. It's things that you can touch. So then I just go through the list. It's going to scan and optimize your arteries, your chromosomes. And I'm going to tell you what, people are like, really? It's going to scan my chromosomes? Like, this is very impressive. So again, we're not going to show them all the results. They're just going to know they've been scanned and optimized. So we don't have time to do that, especially in a free session. So here's the chromosomes. It scans the connective tissue, ears, eyes, heart, your lymphatic system, muscles, nerves, organs, skeleton, and veins. So it's going to run that. But first we're going to start with Intervoice. So I remind them. So guess what? Our thoughts and our emotions are imprinted on our vocal cords. So I always do an exercise with them. So I am an NLP, Master Coach and Trainer. NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. So what I do in my business is, my business is Own Your Life. You can see the sign up there. I help people get what they say they want. So I call it like your hopes and your dreams and your visions, or it might be, I call them sometimes like it's your project. It's like, what are you working on? And so almost everybody has something that they're working on. And so I'm like, well, we could do this inner voice session however you want. And what I'm going to tell you, what I notice is when you bring an intention to the session, you're going to get much better results in fulfilling on what you say you want. So I always share, like, I'm always working on 3 things. I have my divine body project that I'm, working on healing things in my body, my metabolism, and my different things with my back and my knees. If you know my story, I was in a wheelchair when I found this software. This software got me out of the wheelchair and off 6 medications that I was on. So I'm always working on my body still. Thank God for the software. I have a divine business that I'm working on, attracting the right clients. And I'm also always working on my divine union, having the fullest possibility of relationships, right? And so as I notice these projects that I'm working on, I notice that there are lower frequency emotions and higher frequency emotions. So I ask them, so for example, like everything frequency wise, there's a number assigned to it. So there's a really great chart that shows the emotional frequency. So like a lower number is like shame, guilt, grief, sadness, anger. So those are some lower frequency emotions. And then there's the high frequency emotions like love, gratitude, bliss, authenticity. Authenticity is actually one of the highest frequencies you could have. So what I tell them is like, you're going to close your eyes. So we're going to do a little exercise before we start. So I say, close your eyes and think about that goal or that project that you have. Now you may notice there's some lower frequency feelings that might be coming up, like, and I don't want to plant any ideas, but like, I'll just share for me, like, especially with my divine body, sometimes I get frustrated. I'm not getting the results I want as fast as I want. Sometimes I feel, like there's the disappointment, there's the frustration, there's the impatience. And so I fully feel those feelings everywhere. So I do the lower frequency feelings first, and then I have them open their eyes. We kind of clear, blink a little bit. And then we do the high frequency feelings. Now, you might not be there where you're in a state of gratitude quite yet, but put yourself in the future when you have what you say you want. So close your eyes and then generate those feelings of love and gratitude and appreciation, and how juicy it is to have, in your life what you are creating, and feel those feelings, all the high frequency feelings. So I have them do that and hold those frequency high feelings for about 10 seconds. And then I put in the chat, you're going to say 3 things. Lauren taught me this. So you're going to say, I am your name. And he says we do this for 2 reasons. One is we know how powerful I am statements are. They happen to be root chakra statements. They are declarative. We own whatever we're saying after that, right? So it's I am. And then we say your name, because that's who you are. It's the truth. That's the first thing. The second thing that the reason why Lauren says I am is because it connects us to the great I am. I love that. The second thing we say are the hard vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U. Lauren says those hard vowel sounds are in the world's languages. The second thing is he says that it calls in the angels. And I have to tell you, in my world, at least, the more angels, the better. So that's what we say. So we'll say I am Connie Rose, whatever your name is, A-E-I-O-U, and then they just simply count, because we have a 10-second thing to fill. Sometimes what you could also say is the statement of like you're fulfilling, like I am fulfilling all of my divine body goals, or a statement like I feel light and energized. So you can say it as you are already there. You could also do that. So I type that in the chat, and then I let them, then I go to Easy Scan, and I say, okay, they're going to get a countdown, right? And so I hit the start. So then I count down 4, 3, 2, one, and then I say go, and then they go and they just say it. Now, then it just runs. I'm not going to run the whole thing. So it goes through Intervoice, and then they get to watch. Now, when it goes through the vitals and the comprehensive, I just turn the volume down, and then I keep talking, and I educate, and I say, okay, while this is running, I'm going to teach you some things, because you're going to get a little bit a report. So then when it comes up, now it shows the report. That's what shows up, but I don't go through this report. What I do is I go, so they don't even see any of this. They just see this pops up. And then I said, okay, now let's go into Intervoice and let's see your report. Because we don't even, like I said, that the rest of the stuff, the easy scan, they really don't need to see that stuff. They just need to know they've been scanned and optimized. There's nothing we're going to do with that information right now anyway. We don't want to add anything to it. No confusion. And what I'm going to tell you is that a scanned and optimized body does better with everything. So you're going to get better results that way. So when we get to the Intervoice screen, I just click on reports. And then, of course, I hit the email button. Now, I always include the supportive audio files. Now, we have a choice now. We can send them as image files or PDF. I like the PDF files, so I always choose PDF, and then I hit send. And then so I just hit send, and then it generates it, right? And then I just ask them, like, once this is done, once this screen goes away, then I let them know, like, hey, check your email. Because, this is the other thing. Now, so in version 1 of Intervoice, we had to use headphones. Version 2, they were not required. Version 3.0, guess what? Headphones are required, and it's so worth it. It's like 10 times better. So I let them know, I'm going to email your music, have some headphones available, because we're going to have them listen to the music. And so this is new. So sometimes they listen to it right then and there. But if they have pain or anxiety, because I'm going to add some things at the end, I'll have them listen to it for 12 minutes. They listen. I go take a little 12-minute break, and I come back, and then we do the other sessions. So if they don't have any pain they want to deal with or anxiety they want to deal with, then I just go through the reports. So I tell them, this is so simple now. Like, all you do is click the play button, and the music starts. So I might play it, and I let them know, you have to use headphones. The way it's engineered, there's the music. But guess what? If you're not using headphones, you're only getting like 5%, because certain parts of the frequencies in the music is on one side. The other side is a different music. So like if you held them, if you had your headphones and was listening to one side, you would hear something. And if you listen to the other side, you'd hear something different. So you have to use the headphones. Okay. Really important. Now, what I will tell you, when you hit start, it starts here in the middle. It doesn't go left to right. It starts here. The center, or the note here, is the highest note. And the reason why these lines are the way they are, because the center one is affecting the top of the brain. Then it goes over to the left because it's impacting more the left side of the brain. Then it goes over to the right because there's certain things over here they're different parts of the brain affecting different things. This is whole brain resonance now. Did you hear me? Our Intervoice is whole brain resonance, and this is why it's set up this way. So then it goes to the right side of the brain, and then the center, the lowest one, the lowest frequency, is at the bottom, which is where our unconscious mind is. Fight or flight, survival mode. This is like, if you only can do it, so it's 12 minutes, and you just hit play, and it just rotates. It just goes. It's like a playlist. It's so much easier. Now, here's some tips. I love it. Not everybody has that reaction. It's because it's so deep and healing that sometimes people can only listen to just the first one. Now, if you want to just listen to one at a time, just click on the colored box, and it'll just play that thing. Okay? It's like a toggle switch on and off. Now, what Lauren says, if you only have time, now if you don't have any reactions, and you only have 3 minutes, do the low one. Listen to that one first. If you just have 3 minutes, that's if you don't have any reactions. Sometimes people will have some deep emotional responses. Now, after they listen to it for a little while, they're processing it, they're letting it go. They don't have to relive the story. They don't have to talk about any of it. It just works. It's amazing. So if they're having like a little uncomfortable feeling, have them just do this thin or high one, and just do that for a couple days. Just listen to this 3-minute one. Just listen to that for a few days, and then go to the center one and the left one, and then add the third one, and then finally add the lowest one. However, if you don't have any kind of intense reaction and you only have 3 minutes, listen to the lowest one. This is where all the stuff is in our unconscious mind that's been hanging out there for years. And it's going to do the most work on your emotional body. So, but mostly they just need to know, guess what? Did you get the email? Yeah, great. So they're going to get 2 emails. One will have the audio files, and then the other one will have the link that'll take them to a page that looks just like this. So I have them click on it, make sure, yeah, they got it. And you just hit play. That's simple. I let them know the best times to listen to it is in the morning, like first thing in the day, and in the evening before you go to bed. Now, Lauren says he doesn't listen to it at night because it like revs him up. And so he doesn't listen to it at night. Now, I'm going to tell you, I listen to it all night long. I got this headband. It's called a Music Cozy. You could get it on Amazon. And it's like a headband that has headphones in it. And I sleep with it. And I've had times in my life where I've had sleep disorders. And I sleep better than ever now with the inner voice running all night long. So I listen to it all night long. I love it. I sleep better than I have in years. And so I recommend morning and night, but they have to just pay attention to their body. Everyone is different. And the other time you tell them to listen to it is if there's any time during the day you're a little stressed out, listen to it then. The other hot tip that I have is I've used these frequencies to release over 100 pounds. I'm still working on it. Got more to go. And when I am hungry, but I really know I'm not physically hungry, just emotionally hungry, I make a deal with myself. I take 12 minutes and I listen to my music. I also drink some imprinted water, which if you're new to this, that's a different video. But I drink my imprinted frequency water and I listen to my music for 12 minutes. And at the end of 12 minutes, if I'm still craving that thing, I give myself permission to eat it. Now, I will tell you 90% of the time, I don't want it. The other 10% of the time, like I might want it, but instead of having the whole chocolate bar, I'll eat a piece. So that's what helped me release that much weight. And so because like it's giving me what my body actually needs is the emotional fulfillment. So there's so many different times you could listen to the music. You can't overdo it, really. Now, if you're gonna have a strong reaction, like listen to your body. And your body will tell you, right? So then I go through the results and I let them know, like, here's our chart. And this goes over 12 different zones. Those are the black and the white keys on the piano. That's the chromatic scale. And I let them know, like, so it says the highest note is A sharp. And you can go down here. Here's A sharp at 12.7. Then the next one is A at 11.2. And then the next one is G sharp at 9.7. And the lowest one is D sharp at 3.9. And those numbers really don't tell us a whole lot other than, like, the goal is to have a more balanced. And even within, like, let's look at the highest one, which is A sharp. Now, I also point out there's 2 different notes. There's the dominant note, like the 3 top ones are the ones that are over-expressing. Okay, that's what's going on in the conscious mind. The one that's the lowest is what's under-expressing. That's what's going on in the unconscious mind. Then there's different notes here under the supports. In the supports, so if, just like there's 12 notes in the chromatic scale, there's 12 numbers on the clock. This is the visual. So if A was at the noon position, D sharp would be at the 6 o'clock position. Now, they don't need to know anything other than it balances it out. That's why there's 1 letter name on the top and 1 letter name on the bottom. That's the one that supports it or balances it. Now, within each zone, let's just look at the high one for my example here. You can see in A sharp, there's one that's all the way up here to 12.7. But guess what? There's some that are, nothing shows up. There's 9 different octaves that it spans across. There's 9 different octaves. But like, look, like there's some that don't show up at all. Some that show up just barely anything. those are the different octaves. There's 9 different octaves. This one is way out of balance, but the other ones are not so much. So when we go through the reports, we're looking at, like, some things are out of balance on one side and some things are out of balance on the other. It's not all or nothing. So I want them to keep that in mind. I also remind them, I am not a doctor. Most of us in Solex are not. This is not a diagnosis. This is for information and education. And I also let them know there are 3 really important things you got to remember with this, with the reports. And I do this before I even show the reports. So here's the 3 things you got to keep in mind. Like I said in the beginning, we are not just physical. We have our physical body and we have our field. This technology picks up on both. So we don't know if it's picking up stuff that's in the field or if it's picking up stuff in the physical. Now, when dis-ease, and I tell them, even the AMA and the CDC say there's an emotional correlate to every disease. One says 80%, the other one says 85%. In my training as an NLP master coach, we were trained pretty much as 100%. And how could it not be? Our emotional body is all around our physical body. It's like we're saturated in it. So of course there's an emotional component to it. So when dis-ease comes into our physical, it goes through the field first. So it goes into the spiritual realm. And if it's not optimized, cleared, guess what? It gets a little denser into the mental field. And if it's not cleared there, guess what? It gets a little bit more denser and it goes into the emotional field. And if it's not cleared there, guess what? That's when it goes into the physical. And when we heal, it goes out the same way. So it leaves the physical, into the emotional, into the mental, into the spiritual, then finally it's out altogether. So when these reports show up, and these are for all of our reports, by the way, we don't really know if it's in the physical or in the field. So that's number 1. You got to keep that in mind. Number 2, remember how we did clear and shield in the beginning because other people's stuff gets into our field? Well, guess what? We cleared and shielded most of it, but there's still things that could be showing up. So if there's stuff in the reports, it might not even be ours. Like, I was at an event and I sat next to a gentleman who's a chiropractor who was dealing with really significant black mold poisoning. I got home that night and I ran my scan, and guess what showed up on my report? Black mold. But I knew I didn't have black mold. I knew Dr. Kraft did. And the next morning when I did my scan, guess what? Black mold wasn't there because I scanned and optimized it. It was clear. So just because it shows up in a report, it's not until it shows up over and over and over and over and over. And that's why it's a good idea to have your own software so that you could track that on your own. So I let them know it might not even be yours. It could be a friend or a family member that's been in your field. It could be picking that up. Okay. That's number 2 reason we don't get real concerned about these reports. This is a snapshot. The third thing is, just like we could have things from our friends in our field, we can that have been around us physically, we inherit, they're called miasms. We inherit energetic patterns from our ancestors up through 7 generations. And so just like we inherited DNA qualities, chromosomal qualities, physical qualities, we also inherit energetic patterns. So you've heard people talk about generational curses. Well, there's also generational blessings. That's that kind of a concept. So it could be inherited miasms that shows up in our reports. And again, we don't know. So this is for education and information only. So I want to keep it light. And I set the foundation of that. Then I tell them, like, this just talks about what the Intervoice says. Here it talks about the AMA and the CDC, how it works. Everything is a frequency, and including color. Now we have color therapy glasses available if you would like to do that. It does increase the effectiveness by about 5 or 10%. You do not need them, but it does show you the color therapy recommendations in here. And then we go through the report. There's that graph again. Now, all of these, I tell them, all 4 reports are set up the same way. It starts out with the zone and the information how it's affecting the body, the positive emotions and the negative emotions. Now, again, it's not everything. It's like, do you remember the chart? There was some things that were really out of balance and some things that were not. So it's not saying it's all positive or all negative. It's both. It's both and, right? Now, all of this stuff is universal, meaning everyone that has a sharp out of balance is getting this part of the report. What's custom to them is below in the colored boxes. That's what's custom to them. So I don't even go into much of this, like, because they can read it themselves. So I just say, here's the positive emotions, here's the negative emotions. This is where it's affecting your body. This particular emotional zone is affecting your body in this way. And people are like, I'm telling you, I've done, I don't even know, hundreds of these in the last 5 years. And I'm going to say, no one has ever said, I don't know what you're talking about, Connie. That doesn't ring true at all. Everyone is like, wow, how did it know? And I'm like, well, because it's very specific. I told you that your frequency blueprint is 1 in 4.3 trillion. It knows who you are. We use Soviet space technology that we bought. It knows who you are. So then I say the color is yellow. If you don't have color therapy glasses, which most people do not yet, you could think about yellow. You could wear yellow if this is something that you want to support more of. Then we talk about these colored boxes down here. This is what's specific to them. So, and this is what the music is going to help balance even more. So here we got, this is the one I just did tonight, over ambitious, which if you know me, not a surprise. Low self-esteem, I'm working on that. Uncertain about love. And if you know what's been going on in my life in the last year, you know about that too. So here it shows parasites. I tell people, like, everybody has parasites. The closer you get to a full moon, the more parasites you're going to see. It's just how it is. We have energetic parasitical detox available through our Cephi program. If they want more information about that, I let them know that's available. Here's the vitals. Typically, this is stuff that's low, but we don't diagnose anything. And then we talk about the imbalances and suggestions. And again, I don't talk a lot about these, other than if you start to see patterns, then you're going to want to pay attention. The things that are showing up over and over and over. Now, if it says anything about minerals, I talk to them about our products. Like, we have the best mineral product called Gold. It is amazing. And so I recommend that. If they talk about increased collagen, we have the best collagen product on the market too, with AO Youth. 27 different kinds of collagen and electrolytes. I mean, oh my goodness. So I let them know, like, we have some solutions for that if they'd like more information. Then I just go, now each of the reports are structured the same. So there's the zone, here's the positive and negative emotions. This is how it's affecting your body. There's the color. Here's your emotions, your potential causes, your vitals, and here's some more suggestions. Okay. Whenever it says consider chiropractic adjustments, I let them know, if you do see a chiropractor, make a note, print out the reports, show your chiropractor, which is a great referral, just by the way, and let them know, like, pay attention to this specific thing. So on my report up here, it said chiropractic adjustments, pay attention to my lungs. And then here it says reproductive female. So I go see my chiropractor next week, and I'll mention that to her. Then the third one, we're still on conscious mind, right? So here's the zone, the positive and negative emotions. Here it's where it's affecting my body. The color's orange. Here's the emotions: impatience, frustration, lack of confidence. A couple parasites again, TMJ. Here's some stuff that's going on with my vitals. And again, my kidneys, the chiropractor, and reproductive female again on the chiropractor. So, just pay attention to that. Then I say, the next thing is what's going on in the unconscious mind. You may or may not be aware of what's going on, because it's the unconscious mind. So again, positive and negative emotions, how it's affecting the body. Now here, this is a lot of hormonal issues. Like, it's the thyroid, parathyroid. It's the hypothalamus. It's our liver and our adrenal glands, which I know my adrenal glands have been through it. So this shows up quite a bit. Kidneys, it's this, pancreas. It's hormones, and then the sex hormones, right? And then here we go. Grief. I lost both my children and both my parents. This is something I get to balance often. Grief, rejection, communication conflict. And then here's what's going on with potential causes, what's going on with my vitals, and again, some suggestions: chiropractor, digestion, chiropractor, endocrine system. So I have not been to the chiropractor in a hot minute. I think a couple weeks. So like you can see, like it's time to go to the chiropractor. So I just let them know that's the report. But the main thing, like you saw all those suggestions, but here's the biggest suggestion: listen to your music. Listen to your music. If you just do one thing and listen to your music every day, you're gonna notice amazing things. So then at this point, I'll say, do you have, because in our session we have the opportunity to get rid of pain and anxiety, which is amazing, over Zoom. And so if they do have any pain in their body or anxiety they want to get rid of, I'll ask them if they have more time to do that. I always leave the appointment, we could be done in a half hour, but I always leave an hour in case they do have some pain or anxiety they want to address. And so if they say yes, then I say, okay, listen to your music for 12 minutes and I'll jump back in, and then we'll go through the pain session, because they really do need to address that emotional component to effectively, quickly deal with anything what's going on physically. I do let them know we have a body system scan where they can scan and optimize it in just one button. I let them see how easy it is in all the different categories, the systems that are available, as well as the hormone panel and the chemistry panel. I mean, this is impressive what we have is amazing. I do briefly mention multi-scan, that you could scan and optimize at one time up to 16 people. So this is not just for you. This is for your family, your extended family, your parents, your nieces and nephews, your friends. So like you could really bless a lot of people with one subscription. And then we go into Cephi. I do talk to them about MindSync because I am a mindset coach. So I talk briefly about MindSync and the blessing that is. I charge $97 for them to get an Intervoice session as well as 3 custom audios, and so that's available. And I just briefly talk about it and how it's a biohack really to get directly to reprogramming the unconscious mind. So I let them know that's also available, and then we talk about Cephi. And then if they have pain or anxiety, we talk about where the pain is. I have them assess it, or where the anxiety is, because anxiety shows up different places for different people in their body. And then I have them assess it on a scale of 1 to 10. And then we do erase. And so what I have them do is they really just touch the screen where the erase is, and we just start and we erase with the intention of, what erase does is it erases anything that shouldn't be there. So we pull that out, and we just run it, depending on like what their number is, how intense it is. We run erase. And I have, for those of you on my team, I have these client session checklists. So everything I've talked about is on this checklist in boards. And then we also have a sheet for a pain relief protocol and an anxiety protocol. So those are available. Again, if you're not on my team, reach out if you want to get access. I do sell that access. So we always start with erase. So we start clear, shield, optimize, or ground. Then we do Intervoice, scan and optimize inside of Easy Scan, and then we go after the pain or the anxiety. Or sometimes it's grief. I work a lot with other bereaved parents. So we erase, and then we check in. Okay, now what is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And I let them know. So there's this concept called retracing in holistic medicine. So if you were to chart out the scale of 1 to 10, the intensity of your pain or the intensity of your anxiety, you would see a graph that would go up and down and up and down and up and down. So right now, it's probably not the most intense you've ever experienced, and it's probably not the least you've ever experienced. So our goal in these anxiety and pain relief sessions are to get those down to nothing, really. And so, but when we start, they're at something, typically, right? So the goal is to get them to move somehow, which could mean not only will it decrease, but sometimes it increases before it decreases. So I just let them know that's just the retracing. And so it's going backwards, like rewind. Remember those old, I'm old enough, I had cassettes. And so it would rewind, right? And it would go, sometimes it would increase and then it would decrease. And I always assure them, I am not going to get off of this Zoom with you if your pain is increased. I will not increase the pain and leave you. I promise you. And it doesn't always increase. Most of the time it doesn't increase. But I let them know that it could happen, and that's called retracing. and it's a normal, natural process. And it's actually good news because to get the energy to move could increase, decrease, or change locations. That's totally common. Like the pain will start in their back maybe, and then it moves around, or it moves to their shoulder, or it moves, so if it's moving, that's really, really great news. So it's same thing with anxiety. It starts in their maybe in their heart, and then it goes up to their throat, or they feel it in their head, but it's moving. That's a great sign. So we erase, 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 and then we go to the custom playlist, and I have these playlists already done. So I have this master pain list, and I do simultaneous, and we'll imprint it into their field. And I do it usually, and if they have a speaker that they're using, they can take their speaker and like put it on their body, and front and back. Or sometimes I'll even have them log in on their phone, so they have it on their computer, on their laptop, as well as their phone. And especially when we're working on Dr. Nadia Lutz, what a gift she is to us. She has taught me so much about the AO tunes and the tuning forks, and how they really work in the field even better than it does like on like touching us. And so when I use the frequencies that are in the checklist for pain or anxiety, for these particular ones, like I use Flower of Life to alleviate pain, and then I'll do it in the field, and we'll move it in the field and clear it in the field. Because again, we're not just physical, we are physical, and we're the field. And so for the under AO tunes, we're clearing the field mostly. So that's for anxiety and or pain. And then we always, like once we clear it and then address the pain and or anxiety, then I like to end with joy. And, we put our hands over our heart and we play the joy frequencies. Like I do it on simultaneous. Those joy frequencies, and then I ask them how they're doing at the end, and they're happy and they're joyful. And I let them know, like, let me know how it goes. I'm going to send a follow-up email. If you know anybody that wants a session, I always ask for referrals. And I will tell you, my people always leave happy. And then I make sure to follow up with them. And then, so a day or two later, I send them a little message. And if you're on the team, in the boards, I have some sample follow-up messages and when to send them out. If you are not part of the team, reach out to me. Like I said, I do sell that access to that. So it's about like making sure they have everything they need. And then I want to hear. Then I ask for testimonials, which is great for social media, and I post those. But that is how simple it is to do an Intervoice session. And I pair it with pain relief and anxiety relief, because so many people are dealing with pain and anxiety. And then we have other tools. Like we just came out with the AO back, which is that red, blue, green, and infrared light that we have. So I think Kai said, I can't remember if he said like 70 or 80% of people have back pain. And so I deal with a lot of back pain in my sessions, and I let them know, well, if this technology isn't right for you, would you be interested in learning about an incredible technology that you could just buy this, belt with red light therapy belt? And they're like, oh, you have that available too? So there's just so many solutions that we have for people, So don't be afraid to give away these sessions. And I promise you it's worth your time to do that. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments or reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. Blessings and have a great night. Bye.